In today's video, we're going to find out if these traction boards are really worth the money or if they're just an aesthetically pleasing Broverland accessory. So let's get into it. What's up YouTube, and welcome back to another awesome moto vlog. Now if you clicked on this video, you're probably in the same situation as me and you're probably wondering to yourself, are the traction boards that everybody's rocking on their rigs just for looks, or are they really something that's helpful in a recovery situation? I like to think it's the latter just because they come in a bunch of different colors and people just love accessorizing. So I'm thinking 90% of the time people have the traction boards on their rigs and they're not being used, but in that 10% of the time when they do need to use them, are they effective and are they worth the money? So before we get into it, I just want to announce that this is the last video before we head out to SEMA. We'll be at SEMA, the world's largest automotive show, next week, October 30th to November 4th. We'll be in Las Vegas, Nevada, representing the Awesomoto brand and giving you live updates of all the latest breakthroughs in automotive technology. There's going to be a ton of overlanding stuff out there this year, and we're really excited to give you those breaking updates from the overland community. We're also very excited to network with the community while we're out there. So if you see Max and I wandering around the showroom floor, come find us, come say hi. We're really interested in networking with people who are in the industry. If you want to stay up to date with all the SEMA coverage, follow Awesomoto on Instagram. We're going to be doing a lot of live coverage from there. And also there's going to be a summarized video and some updates on the YouTube platform as well. All right, so let's just jump into the video. I got this X-Bull brand, which is an Amazon brand that I had found. I've seen tons of good reviews in overlanding forums on the internet about these traction boards and the fact that they do not have some of the issues that I've read about with some of the off-brand ones fading. The Max Trax are the high-end, pretty expensive version. So these come in at about half the cost. And I thought, if I don't really know whether or not these traction boards are something I really want or I'm gonna need, I better just try something out that's a little bit more cost effective, and also to give you guys an insight as well so that you're not spending double the price on something that you may or may not use. So let's just open these up and let's see what they look like. All right, so you got a bag inside. This is the mounting hardware for your roof rack. And slide these out. So you got some cool stickers that came with. The next thing in the package here is we got a pretty nice carrying bag. I actually was planning to have these mounted up to the roof rack. So I'll probably use this bag for some recovery gear. All right, and so here they are. These are the traction boards. They look as you'd expect. A piece of, I think, injection molded plastic. They come in various colors. I chose red just because you know how it's been. We've been just kind of throwing red accents everywhere we can on the GX. There's a little handle here in the sides on both ends, so you can kind of have something to hold on to. If you're trying to slide it underneath the vehicle, you can kind of lay flat and push it down under, so that's kind of nice. There's some handles for that. The only thing we're going to need to do is actually just mount them to the roof of the GX. So to do that, they give you the mounting brackets. There's just these flat plate and big lugs that go up through, some big lug bolts. So there's 4 of those. So let's just go ahead and see if we can get these mounted up to the roof of the GX. We're gonna be doing something a little special for this month's t-shirt giveaway. We're gonna be giving away your choice of an Awesomoto t-shirt to a lucky subscriber. And instead of doing that in this vlog, we're gonna be doing it live from SEMA next week. So if you wanna get entered to win that t-shirt giveaway, hit that subscribe button down below. And additionally, head over to Instagram and follow @Awesomoto. That gives you a second chance to win that t-shirt giveaway. All right, so we're up on the roof of the GX, and I do have this Prinsu roof rack. So this is gonna be my approach for mounting things up. And I've already run into an issue with this mounting hardware they come with. It's just a little bit clunky in the way it's mounted. I could mount this up where I put this plate on the bottom, this bolt through the plate. I guess maybe what I'll do is kind of show you what you could do in this situation for mounting this up. I'm not a big fan of it. The Prinsu roof rack does come with a bunch of mounting accessories, and so I think I can go to Lowe's and get something to work for the situation. I guess I'll kind of show. I use these cargo hooks that came with the rack, and they have kind of a square keyed slot on them, so that kind of fits into your roof rack like this, and then I tighten things down. So I think if I get a bolt with that same configuration, then I can go right through these and mount up that way as well. So I'm going to go to the hardware store definitely after we go and hit the trail, see if I can come up with a good solution for that. All right, so you can kind of see the setup I got going on here. Washer and nut, and then on the top side, same configuration. Now you can put your plastic shims on here, and you can slide it up underneath, and it gives you kind of a configuration like this, which gives you the ability to then put your traction boards on top. And because these brackets are meant to straddle these roof rack crossbars, we're gonna have to mount these across the vehicle, which I'm thinking is gonna be the loudest for wind noise issues. So definitely don't wanna have this as my permanent mounting solution. Right off the bat, this is just a garbage way to mount these up. I'm not a fan of this. So we're just gonna ditch these brackets. I'm not really a big fan of the mounting solution in it. This may be fine for some people, but with the Prinsu roof rack and these cross beams, I'm just not a fan of mounting it up like this. So if you had mole panels, these would work great for mole panels, and I'm a little bit biased in my judgment on these because of the fact that I have a very specific roof rack that I'm trying to mount these to, and it's making it challenging to do so. So I wouldn't judge these too much based on my opinion, but if you are a guy like me with a Prinsu roof rack and you want these mounted up to the roof, these brackets just aren't gonna cut it. So I'm gonna go to the hardware store and pick up some channel locking bolts that we can put down in here. So since we're not mounting these up to the roof rack, I'm gonna throw these in the back seat here of the GX on the floor. We'll take these out to the trail and we'll start to do some testing, because really, at the end of the day, I'm trying to decide, are these things really worth it? So let's hit the trail and try to get ourselves stuck. All right, so I'm out here driving around, and I'll be honest with you, that one puddle just, oh man, the whole front of the GX was underwater there. And that's the one thing I'm not the biggest fan of about Florida trail riding, is like out here, there's so many just water crossings everywhere, and I'm not a big fan of them. I put a snorkel on just because I want to protect the vehicle from hydrolocking, but man, even though I have a snorkel, that scared the crap out of me. Water was coming up over top of the hood. So let's see if we can find some nice deep sand and try to get the GX stuck here so that we can test out these traction boards and see how well they actually work. All right, so now we got a situation where I actually got the GX in some sand. So let's try this out and see what happens. Just kind of wedge the traction boards up under here. All right, so let's see. Oh. There we go. Okay. So that works pretty good. So for sand, this is actually pretty good. It just helps you get a little bit extra traction to get out of situations like that. So traction boards work really good for sand. Let's go find ourselves some mud. All right, because I'm having such bad luck with getting stuck, I'm just testing these out in some different terrains. So sand, obviously, great situation for that because the sand is just gonna sink and you got that nice rigid plastic structure underneath. So that's able to give you traction in sand. I kind of backed up into this mud pit here. I mean, with a four-wheel drive vehicle, the front end's hanging out, and it's really, I think these traction boards would be great for a rear-wheel drive vehicle, but with four-wheel drive, it's like yeah, if you get most of the way through, you're pretty good. So I'm just gonna, for the sake of research, just put the traction boards up underneath here, and we'll see if that really makes any difference. All right. So I'm just gonna wedge the board up underneath like that. Guess we'll just see if it really does grip or if we get any sort of slipping. I can picture getting some slipping going on because it's water and mud on plastic, but we'll see. Easy, nothing. So I'll be honest with you, it seems kind of like these traction boards are okay, but as far as did it really save me drastically out here? No, it didn't. They look cool, I guess. It's red accessorizing. It feels mostly like something that guys used to accessorize, or maybe I'm just not a hardcore off-roader and coming out to these trails out here in the middle of like the swamplands of Florida is just too tame for what most people do. So leave a comment down below if I'm just using these traction boards like a noob and I'm not going on hardcore enough of terrain. I think that for the most part, having them is, I guess, peace of mind. So if you have your winch, your traction boards, that gives you options. So if you do get stuck and you don't have any issues getting out, so maybe they're just a nice to have thing, and that's kind of what I'm starting to lean towards as far as my personal opinion on them. I'm not giving up yet. I'm gonna go drive around and see if I can get stuck in a really bad situation where they can help me get out. But so far, I don't think I need them. That was kind of lame, and the traction boards don't really have much of a purpose for these trails, but I would like to get back to some of the areas with a little bit more mud. Maybe we can make use of them there. I guess I just don't find myself on these types of trails getting as stuck as most people would expect on some of these areas. I guess this is just a testament to the GX platform. I mean, we've got the Falcon Wild Peaks on there, and it's 4-wheel drive, and it's a very capable vehicle. And so getting stuck is something that doesn't happen often. After the sand test, I feel like the traction boards will probably work in a sand environment pretty well. If you got some really deep sand, I can't find deep enough sand out here to get stuck. And so I'm struggling on really just whether or not I need these traction boards. This is not how I intended things to go. I wanted to come out here and get stuck and show you guys how awesome these traction boards are for getting you out of a sticky situation, and they're not doing anything for that. All right, so after genuinely trying to get stuck so I can utilize these traction boards, was mostly a fail. So I think in general, time's gonna tell a little bit with these, because when I go to some other areas off-roading, I think I'll be able to better estimate whether or not I need these. And I think maybe most of you who are watching this, if you already have these and you use them quite a bit, comment down below, let me know where you use them and how they've helped you, because for me, getting stuck in the sand, I think it's going to work great for that. The sand and the mud, they definitely do provide traction, but do I need them all the time? Am I always gonna just have to have my traction boards to get out of situations? For me, with the GX and 4-wheel drive, I have to be in a situation where I have all 4 wheels just completely submerged and stuck. And I don't think here in Florida, you're gonna be able to put these traction boards down in a deep puddle, but you may be able to if it's some thick mud. So since we're already out here on the trails and it is a beautiful fall day down here in Florida, the temperature is cool and it's a nice breeze going on. So I'm gonna go enjoy the rest of these trails for a few more hours, and then on the way home, I'll stop by the hardware store and we'll get some nice mounting solution for these. All right, so I stopped by the hardware store and I got some stuff here that I'm pretty excited about. I think this is gonna work. One of the things I encountered when I went into this situation was I realized that for the Prinsu roof rack, we do need a 1/4-20 sized bolt here. I was able to find nice 1/4-20 plastic handles and our 1/4-20 carriage bolt. This carriage bolt should just key right into the Prinsu roof rack, and then we have a nice top on here. Basically have the exact same thing with less components. It's only a 2-piece design versus that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces. So this is much more straightforward and I really like this. All right, so these knobs are awesome. When you're out on the trail, you won't need any tools. And let's just see how well this 1/4-20 fits in there. Yeah, that is awesome. I'm gonna utilize these end holes here because the spacing of them is actually perfect with my Prinsu rack. Applying this plate, I think this will give us a nice even pressure across the top. So what I think I may need to do is just go trim these off with a Dremel, just so that there isn't a bunch of extra height sticking off the top here. Now that's awesome. That is a nice clean solution, and it was super cheap. So let's take a little bit closer look so you can see the details here. Carriage bolts slide right into the Prinsu roof rack, and these 1/4-20 carriage bolts might not work for all roof racks, but it certainly does on the Prinsu. And using this plate here really helps provide some extra support and even pressure on the plates. So if you have this Prinsu roof rack and you want to do the same mounting solution with these carriage bolts, check the links below. I'll put all the links for all these products so that you can build this yourself at home. All right, so that does it for the mounting solution. We got a nice place to mount those on top of the GX, and it's going to be easy access for when we're taking these off on the trail. So as you can see from all that trail riding, I kind of had a failure on getting the GX completely stuck. If I was going through some muddy pits, I could have probably gotten stuck, but I'll be honest, I think I was a little bit hesitant because I was out there by myself, and I really didn't want to get myself too stuck and not be able to get out, because the trails, although there were some people out there, there wasn't many people in vehicles that could get the GX pulled out. So I was a little bit worried about getting too stuck. If I'm in an area with a lot of incline and a lot of mud and inclines combined, I think that's where the traction boards are going to do you a lot of good. So do I think it's the most necessary recovery equipment? No, in my circumstance, I don't think so, because I have the winch and I also have tow straps. So I think as a nice balance and an affordable recovery kit, if you don't have a winch and you don't want to spend the hundreds of dollars that a winch costs, I think your best bang for your buck is actually to have a set of traction boards and have yourself some recovery straps. These I'll link down below. So these recovery straps, as you can see, got them in red. So these recovery straps are very inexpensive, and it's gonna help when you have a second vehicle to pull you out of a situation. And if you don't have a vehicle to pull you out of a situation, then the traction boards will help you potentially get unstuck. Yes, I think I would recommend traction boards, and I would recommend getting a set of tow straps. So I couldn't be any more excited about attending the world's largest automotive show, SEMA, next week. We're gonna be there providing you all the live updates. Awesomoto t-shirt giveaway is gonna be happening live next week at SEMA. So if you're not already an Awesomoto subscriber, hit that subscribe button down below and head on over to Instagram and follow there. That'll get you 2 chances to win and doubles your odds for free. I can't wait to see what kind of overlanding companies that we get to network with there. I saw Baja Designs and all the big names in the overlanding community are gonna be there. So we're gonna be giving you an inside look at all the things that are coming to the market for this year. And lastly, this YouTube channel is entirely self-funded. I buy all these parts with my own money from working crazy hours at work, and I make these videos in my spare time so I can give back to the community. So if you want to give back to the Awesomoto channel and help support the growth of new videos and bringing you more content like this, head on over to awesomoto.tv. We have a merch store over there where you can pick up yourselves a set of Awesomoto t-shirts, jet tags, sticker packs, and air fresheners for your vehicle. So head on over to awesomoto.tv if you want to support the cause. As a little teaser of what we'll be getting into when we get back from SEMA, we have the brake upgrade kit that we're going to be doing on the GX470. This may or may not be GX460 caliper upgrades. We got some new rotors and brake pads. All right, well, I'm going to end things here. Thank you all so much for watching, and we'll see you next week at SEMA.